Man, what up with y'all, man? I want to say, give my condolences to the families, man, who have lost loved ones in this tragic airplane and helicopter collision, mid-air collision, man. It's sad. It's if it ain't one thing, it's another, man. But yeah, man, I give my condolences to all the families, man. My prayers go out to the individuals who have lost their lives. Um, yeah, man, crazy. Ain't one thing, it's another out here, man. But yeah, man, this is Mr. Zach Reacts, man. Back live tonight. Seeing who's up, man. What trees we can shake, man. I'm gonna surf YouTube tonight, but I want to start off with this tragic plane and helicopter crash, man, and what happened in Washington D.C. over the Potomac River. Um, just out of nowhere, that's what it looks like in the video. Like it was. Um, I ain't gonna say it was negligence on anybody's part, but it's they haven't found out yet. I mean, it's gonna be a big investigation into this. Hopefully, it wasn't nobody that was radical that was flying the Black Hawk helicopter, man, that caused this tragic event. Um, since we are going through a lot of different things in this country, man, with possible terror attacks and different things like that. But I don't want to say that's what it is. Uh, I pray to God that it's not, man. Like I say, man, it's tragic, and it is what it is, man. Crazy. It is crazy. Oh man, I would have covered this a little bit earlier, but I was running errands, man, and doing a couple things I had to do in my day, man. Uh, but yeah, man, this is a terrible situation, man. Terrible situation. It's a terrible, terrible situation, man. Um, so all I can say, man, is rest in peace to the people who have lost their lives in this tragic event, man. Ridiculous, ridiculous, man. Yeah, but man, I hope everybody's doing fine, doing well, man. You know, like we never know when it's our time. You know, I'm quite sure these people that was on this airplane, man, didn't think that they would be losing their lives, man, like this. You know, it's crazy. I just want to give a moment of silence to these people, man. Moment of silence, man. Crazy. But if y'all haven't seen the video, I mean, quite sure it's all over the news and all over YouTube and any social media outlet. You can see this terrible collision. The footage is kind of grainy, but you can see it in a big fireball, man. You can see the little helicopter light heading over to the end of the path of the jet that was coming in for landing. Um, Sad, man. Sad. It is sad. Let's take a look at it, man. Let's take a look at it. It's crazy. This is a far back view of it. And they're gonna send it's gonna zoom in, but right here is the helicopter and it's gonna go right into here. I don't know if it ran into the side or in the front of it or what, whatever the case, man. It collided in the air, man, and exploded and landed into the Potomac River, man. It's crazy. See the little light right there? Good Lord. That's crazy. Then at the same time, you got a jet airliner taking off. This airliner is taking off at the same time this is landing, man. Make you not want to fly. Situations like this, it make you not want to fly. Because your life is in the hands of those pilots. It's crazy. They was coming in from, I think they said the flight was coming in from Wichita, Kansas, to land into Washington, D.C. Crazy, man. I'll watch it a couple more times, man. This is like a reality check, man. You never know, man. You never know. In this situation, I always say keep your head, protect yourself at all times and keep your head on the swivel. But in this situation, wasn't nothing they can do. The people that's on the plane, they just, people probably was asleep, just waking up. You can hear the pilot telling everybody that they about to land and doing the weather updates and all that. If you flew airplanes, you know what I'm talking about. So I would rather just stay asleep, man, but it's a terrible situation, man. Terrible. Man, it is terrible. What's going on with y'all, man? Let's see what we got here, man. I got a press conference, a couple of, the news is going live, so I'm gonna live stream that, but we're gonna get some clarity on what's going on with these situations, man. It's just a terrible and tragic situation, man. Terrible. I appreciate y'all for tapping in with me, man. They got some recordings. The pilots, the air traffic controller and the recordings, and right before the collision. It's crazy. Commander Alpha Turkey, I see you. Let's play ball. I see what's going on with it. Yeah, but let's see what's going on with this, man. Just gonna let the videos play, man. I'm gonna chime in when I need to. It's a sad moment, man. It's a sad moment. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. It is what it is. It's in God's plans, I mean, hopefully the people that was on the airplane and the people that was in the Black Hawk helicopter, man, made their peace with the Almighty, repented and was a believer in Christ and all that stuff. So they'll know where they're going, you know what I'm saying, as far as heaven, you know what I'm saying? So people die every day, man. So let's see what's going on with this, man.
Tower and the Black Hawk helicopter, there were a couple of messages that were sent. And now we're learning that Fox News is reporting that the Army helicopter did respond to the tower. In fact, I'm going to read you the quote here. Fox News is reporting that the Army helicopter did not respond to the tower when they asked if the helicopter had the regional jet in sight. In fact, it appears that they did respond, but on a different tower frequency. So they were on a tower frequency for helicopters. It appears that the tower controller was working both frequencies. And so as John Scott was kind of laying it out for us, and he's probably on this ATC transcript right now on this voice recording, getting the clarity on this. But we talked about this, and it's very imperative here, because we know there were two warnings, and maybe warning is too strong, but there were two directions given from the tower to the Black Hawk helicopters. And one of them was to pass behind. And the other one was, do you see the regional jet. And apparently we have been reporting, because that's the information we have, because that's the transcript, that the helicopter did not respond. And now Fox News is saying, getting information that they did respond, but it was on a different line. I want to bring John Scott back in. So, John, if you didn't hear any of that, Fox now reporting it appears they did respond, but on a different tower frequency. They were on a frequency for helicopters, and it appears that the tower controller was working both frequencies, which is why in the conversation that you were listening to, you probably didn't hear a response, and nor did any of the pilots we talked to tonight.
So they was working both frequencies. So they had too much going on at one time, man. I mean, I'm trying to figure out why the Black Hawk helicopter was in the airspace of an airport anyway. We see police chases and things like that, and doing the car that's being pursued by the police that goes by airport, the helicopter turns back. You know, they can't fly over that type of airspace. So it was confusion. I think it was confusion on everybody's part. I don't think the jet that was coming in, you know, they was coming in how they normally come in, but the helicopter and the air traffic control people, they were confused. It was something, man. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, when you see police chases and cars going by airports all the time, the helicopters always say they can't fly over that particular airspace. So it's gonna be a lot of tough questions, and hopefully they investigate it and find out exactly what took place, because I'm not a pilot. I don't fly nothing, but I know most things, drones and helicopters, are not supposed to be flying over that type of airspace. You know what I'm saying?
Military air.
And in my crazy mind, we going through having terror attacks and radical people who's in the military that turn radicalized and doing things and all kind of stuff. So who knows, man? I don't want to throw no conspiracy theories out there, but it make you go, you know what I'm saying? Make you, and then it's right there in Washington, D.C., where the White House and all that stuff is, and you got people that don't like Trump and all this stuff going on. So allegedly, man, you know, that's all I'm saying. It could be just a real accident, or it could be something else. Who knows? We'll find out in the days to come, though. 'Cause they not gonna let this story die. You know?
Craft use the UHF frequency primarily for their communications. Some of them are equipped with VHF frequencies, which are what jetliners and, you know, small general aviation aircraft like mine use. So it could be that he was on a helicopter frequency, or he was on a UHF frequency, and maybe talking to the tower, but just not getting the transmission through. That's all going to be part of the investigation.
Yeah, and speaking of the investigation, John, we have that recording now. I know you've probably heard this, but we're going to play it twice. This is the air traffic controller talking to the Black Hawk helicopter. We're going to play it for you a couple of times because it's quick. So listen into this, and then we'll bring John Scott back and get his take on this. Watch.
American 4782 by BATS now for individual.
American 472, Washington 1 star, 32017.
Did you see that?
American 472. American 3130, go around, turn left end 250, climb maintain 3000.
Okay, left end 350, 3000, American 3130. American 4782 by BATS now for individual.
American 472, Washington 1 star, 32017.
Did you see that?
American 472. American 3130, go around, turn left end 250, climb maintain 3000.
Okay, left end 350, 3000, American 3130.
Yeah, we kind of looped it a couple of times to hear there, but the thing that I'm caught by and in that, John, is where he says, "Did you see that?"
That's what I heard too. Like, that's what I heard. I don't know if it was that plane taking off, the one that's above the collision. I don't know. So much stuff, chatter going on. I don't understand how they do that job, man. That job, too much talking in codes and all this stuff. Like, crazy. Crazy. Let's see if we can hear it again. We're going to listen to it again. I don't know how far I'm going back, but we're going to listen to it again.
3000, American 3130.
In the chat, tell me if you understand what they saying, because I don't understand nothing.
Go around, turn left in 25.
320, 3000.
Hold on, y'all. My bad.
17.
We're going to play it twice. This is the air traffic controller talking to the Black Hawk helicopter. We're going to play it for you a couple of times because it's quick. So listen into this, and then we'll bring John Scott back and get his take on this. Watch.
American 4782 by Bath, not for visual.
American 472, Watchtower 1 star 32017.
Oh, did you see that?
American 472. American 3130, go around, turn left in 250, climb maintain 3000.
Left heading 350, 3000, American 3130. American 4782 by Bath, not for visual.
American 472, Watchtower 1 star 32017.
Oh, did you see that?
American 472. American 3130, go around, turn left in 250, climb maintain 3000.
Left heading 350, 3000, American 3130.
Yeah, we kind of looped it a couple of times to hear there, but the thing that I'm caught by and in that, John, is where he says, "Did you see that?" And I don't know what he means. He said, "Did you see that?" It's surprising.
That's what everybody's saying. Like, why is the helicopter over there? Period. In that airspace when they know is nothing but jets coming through there. Like it's an airport. I understand airport mean all type of aircraft, but why would they be coming across the area where planes are landing? It's crazy. John Flatley say, "Why are you watching Fox Entertainment? You like being lied to." It's nothing to lie about. We're watching it right here. Like, this is a deep fake video or something. I don't care what they saying. I'm looking at what's going on. I have my own conclusions of what I'm seeing. You know, and it's not about a political thing right here, right now. This is about these 60 people and plus the 4 people that was in that Black Hawk helicopter, their lives, man. You know what I'm saying? We don't know if everybody passed away or what. So it's not about that. You understand me? The line leader say, my question is who important was on that plane? Uh-oh. Hey, that's a nice question there. We don't know. We having all these different things going on here in America, so it could be somebody that was important they were trying to get rid of now, allegedly. Now, don't get me in trouble by reading these comments. I didn't say this. You said that. You know what I'm saying? Crazy. They said it was a training mission. Maybe. And then it was a military, the Black Hawk. You know what I'm saying? Just crazy, man. Well, we'll find out. You know, Fox News. They gonna find out. Whatever news station we gonna find out. So,
I believe that's another aircraft who saw the explosion. What happens, and I took a minute to listen to that exchange after the last time you and I spoke. And yes, he does first say to the chopper, he says, TAC-25, do you have the CRJ in sight? And then almost immediately he says, TAC-25, go behind, meaning fly behind the regional jet. And the collision takes place in less than 5 seconds after that last transmission, more like probably 3 seconds.
And you didn't hear it, but it's, and again, and this is unclear, John, but it appears that the helicopter pilot or one of the helicopter pilots did respond, and it would have been, we presume, in that 5-second window before it hit the plane. It's
the instructions from the tower are so rapid fire. I mean, the
Crazy.
ATC barely turns off his microphone after asking whether the CRJ is in sight, and then he gets back on virtually immediately. So there was not a lot of time for the chopper pilot to respond. And again, if he was on a different frequency or even on a different band, on a UHF band, it just, from everything that I'm hearing, it sounds like the two were not talking to one another. They just, the tower wasn't hearing whatever the chopper was saying.
Wow. Yeah. Great insight. John Scott, who's a pilot, been covering aviation analysis and disasters for a very long time. John, thank you. We appreciate your time. And just so we can kind of get a clear vision of this, so the helicopter hits the plane and they both go down. And now we know, and by the way, we're waiting for a news conference. You see in the right-hand side of the screen that was set for 12:30 East Coast time. It's now 12:52 and 24 seconds East Coast time. We haven't gotten any word about that news conference being moved up or back or canceled. So it still appears to be not on schedule, but it still appears to be happening at some point in time. But the plane is hit by the helicopter and they both go into the water. And now we have learned that those aircraft are both in the Potomac and the helicopter is upside down, and you have the plane that is broken in at least two pieces, which we're being told from the people on the scene, at least two pieces, and they are visible, as Chad Pergram told us. And of course, we mentioned.
Crazy, man. We got some conspiracy theorists in the chats, huh? Man. That's weird, man. Boy, this year 2025 is kicking off with a bang, huh? Literally. Crazy. Let me read some of these comments, man. Karen Merchant. As soon as I heard about this, I instantly got a bad vibe. Man. John Flatterly said, this isn't time for conspiracy theories. People lost their lives. Whether it be politician on that plane or not, they are still human beings. Amen to that. I understand that. People did lose their lives. You know what I'm saying? They lost their lives for sure. Man. Coming in from Wichita, Kansas, had a good flight and didn't make it, man. I say, man, my heart goes out to them people, man. Cody Mount, what's going on with you? The line leader, I see you. What's up with you? Who else in here? Linda G, man. Linda G say helicopter pilot was in training. Yeah. Crazy. Catch my drift. What's going on with you? Say horrible tragedy. It was. Leo 20 told say how and why the F is a helicopter over there, man. That's what I'm trying to find out. Crazy. But yeah, let's keep going, man. Let's keep going. See what this is, man. We surfing right now. Trying to get to the bottom of it. Is anybody in the chat, do you guys live close to Washington, D.C.? Let me know, man. The real DJ Monster. What's going on, DJ Monster? What's up with it? Crazy. They said the plane was broken up into 2 pieces and the helicopter was turned upside down. So, the last time I looked, I'd seen one report, they said they recovered 18 bodies. So that was the last update. Quite sure it's going to be more. So 18 people so far. Kamikaze, what's going on with you? And I know that water is freezing. Man, if somebody did survive, man. I know they hypothermia. You said it's a draft sound. That's the video you're looking at. That's them. Fast forward a little bit. Man, it's pitch black too. Man. That's my fear, man. Y'all want to know what my fear is? My fear is deep water, like ocean water, like where I can't see the bottom. I don't care if it's a lake, whatever. That's my fear, man. Being stranded in deep water.
People, hopefully, you just hope, those folks are alive.
It is going to be a very long night for first responders across our area who have all converged over the Potomac River right now to do whatever they can to save and bring to safety, if they can, anyone who might have been on this aircraft that originated from Wichita, Kansas, coming in, and in some way, something happened where Brooke Pinto, D.C. council member, says that a helicopter crashed into this 60-person plane.
Really?
And it plunged into the Potomac River. The Potomac River, which, as we know, is vast and difficult on a day when you can see the light and see what is happening around you. But these first responders are having to.
So the real DJ Monster, you say the media created this so they can have something to talk about? Is that what you really think? Come, I'm gonna hit you with this.
Come on now, dog. Come on, man.
Come on, DJ Monster. The Pleasant Gift says 70 dead. Things happen, unfortunately. T-Bone, never seen it happen. Man, I'm quite sure it was too fast. You know what I'm saying?
Carry out this life-saving task in the dark.
Right. And you can see some of those boats in the water right now and trying to rescue those folks, identify the point where, this plane went down, where those folks may be. Again, you have U.S. Park Police. They're in the water right now. You have DC Fire and EMS. They've been training for this, for these types of moments. Again, we talk about these moments near the airport so often. This is not far away from Joint Base Anacostia Bowling. You have a lot of aircraft going in and out of Reagan National at all hours of the day. And this is not something you ever want to hear about, a plane going down into the Potomac. But again, right there, both of these images you're looking at are live pictures of the rescue operation underway. They're traversing this river right now, just trying to rescue as many people as possible.
Absolutely.
Again, from that 60-person passenger plane.
60 people. 60 people were coming here from Wichita, Kansas, presumably to land at Reagan National Airport, coming here for any number of reasons, perhaps on business, perhaps on pleasure, perhaps to see loved ones, perhaps to see family members that might be here. And so if you are watching this right now, we want to be very sensitive about the fact that These are real lives that hang in the balance, real lives that we don't actually have any answers about at this moment. We do know that this happened just before 9 o'clock this evening, and we are still working, as you can see, to get you any details that we can find.
Yeah, so as Les mentioned, you can...
Pleasant gift, that's what I was saying. The traffic control, man, is they had too much going on, man. You know, they gonna really truly investigate that, because ain't no way that a helicopter, Black Hawk, I don't give a damn what kind of helicopter it was, they ain't supposed to be flying over that type of airspace like that, you know.
See the operation, the rescue operation underway. In terms of getting that confirmed information, that is coming in very slowly, because obviously these rescue crews are also trying to get their hands on all of this and try and understand as much of what they're dealing with as possible. All we know, all that has been confirmed at this point, is you had that that plane coming into D.C. from Wichita, Kansas, with 60 people on board, not including the flight attendants and the crew, but 60 passengers on this small plane trying to land at Reagan National Airport when it collided with a helicopter at the time, mid-air, and that plane went down into the water. That is the only confirmed information we have at this point, aside from what you're looking at here, the rescue operation underway to try and get those folks out of the water.
We are thinking about all of the people that are involved in this crash in some way and their families. We know that Senator Roger Marshall from Kansas again says that this plane originated in Wichita, and he is asking all of us to pray for every single passenger and their family members. It's not clear just yet how many crew were on this plane and how often this plane perhaps came into Washington and maybe went back and forth from Wichita to Kansas. We just don't know very much about the history of this small plane. What we do know is something very unfortunate happened on its way here, somehow crashing midair with a helicopter. And as you are watching and we are watching, there is an effort now to try and save as many lives as possible. It is 9:55, and this has been going on for almost an hour now. Just a feverish effort from
shout
all
out
of
to the
our
first
local
responders,
authorities, working diligently and speedily with really great haste to try to get to any survivors that could be out there.
Every
Absolutely.
second counts. Now, we want to show
Absolutely.
you some new video we are just getting in from EarthCam here. And I do want to warn you, you can see the moment of impact down there toward the bottom right-hand side of your screen. That's another plane taking off at the time. But when the camera zooms back out, you're going to see that explosion in just a moment. There it is, right there. So again, and you can see just how the plane went down, the helicopter went down. Again, we're hearing 60 people were on board this flight trying to land at Reagan National at the time. When it was with the helicopter, not too far away from Joint Base Anacostia Bowling and Reagan National Airport, the two collided midair.
All right, let's go to our colleague, Matt Gregory, who is at Dangerfield right now over by the Boat Watch, which is kind of south of where this accident happened.
Right.
Matt?
You're right. It was two impacts. The first impact of the plane, the helicopter hit, and then the impact of hitting that water, man, at full speed like that. Like, if anybody survived that, man, they blessed. You know what I'm saying? They are truly blessed.
What are you seeing? What are you hearing right now?
So, I mean, we're not hearing a whole lot right here. Most of the folks who are here, from what we've been able to see, are just kind of, they're coming out just as we are to see what happened. But I want to give you an idea on the ground level. I think we're actually sort of like a little bit south, but there's three separate sort of staging areas we're noticing for this rescue operation and this mass casualty event. So if you come over here to the left shot, my photographer can see off in the distance here, it's kind of far now. We're going to go right through the boat launch here. You can see like the fireboats off in the distance. This is, by the way, as Council Member Pinto pointed out, a mass casualty event, which is marshaling all the forces of DC Police, DC Fire, as well as parts of Joint Base Anacostia. If you look away across the way here, as we move a little bit further south, what you can see is another set of, you can see police boats, fireboats off in the distance. So there seems to be two little scenes here along the Potomac. And then again, as we go a little bit further south down over here, there's another section. all this time while we're out here, you can also see two separate helicopters patrolling. They're coming through with searchlights and oftentimes coming over here to the banks to get a look about what's going on over here. It's something where we're still working to get the information. Like we heard, one of the senators from Kansas has said that he believes that this plane was coming from Wichita. We also have heard from Councilmember Pinto from D.C. that it looks like that she did say that it was a helicopter that crashed into it. But again, all of this is preliminary. We're just finding all of these things out right now. So we're working to get all these details confirmed and to get the latest in terms of what an investigation looks like and what the press response will be from D.C. Fire, D.C. Police, as well as any sort of the federal partners. We're going to keep working on the scene here to find out what more information we can get. Come to us in a few minutes, and hopefully we'll have a little more information to give you.
All right, thank you, Matt. And yeah, we want to point out as well from the councilwoman, Brooke Pinto, she talked about the 60-person passenger plane landing here. We're assuming there that it holds 60. Perhaps this flight was not actually fully booked at the time.
Sure.
So that's why you see this effort here right now to figure out exactly how many people were on board. They're going up and down the Potomac River to try and rescue as many people as possible.
Crazy.
They obviously have records of this flight.
Sure.
They know who was on board at the time. So they're trying to get those folks out of the water.
And you know, it's really the wind and the water can either work with you or work against you. Topper, I know that you can tell us a bit more about what's happening with the wind and more importantly, what's happening with the water as rescuers are trying to get to people.
Yeah, we are looking at, well, this is the latest winds in terms of how strong the winds have been blowing over the past, say, 45 minutes. Remember, we had a wind advisory in effect. It's no longer in effect.
What up, AGLC, man? It is very suspicious. It's very suspicious.
So we have wind gusts of 26 downtown. That's at the airport. Higher winds north and west. So, I mean, it's possible we had a higher wind gust at that particular time. Hard to tell. But the wind advisory was out, and our strong 40, 50-mile-per-hour winds were a thing of the past. The river is cold. Potomac River running about 42.4 degrees. So this is the area that we're concerned about. And yes, water temperature will work against you. I mean, those guys have, wetsuits and stuff, but the passengers that need to be rescued probably only have about 30 to 40 minutes with a water temperature of 42 degrees. So not good news. Better than it was the last time we had the car go over the Memorial Bridge when temperatures were the water temperatures were actually the same, but it was snowing. And the winds were just as strong. So a little bit better, I guess, scenario for them to rescue tonight with clear skies, winds dying down, but the water temperature, that's just not going to change, 42, and that will work against them, guys.
Some additional information. You know the Potomac River quite well, and you know the topography around that area. This is not easy stuff to get around.
No, I mean, Matt's sort of laid it out. They are having three sort of areas to stage this rescue. And, once they get the boats on the river, it'll be pretty quick, but it's dark. So they have to find everybody and find exactly where the two collided. I mean, in my mind, I'm kind of wondering what the helicopter was doing in that airspace in the first place. And it is possible if you're flying a helicopter, you get a little gust of wind, it could have caused a problem.
Exactly. Even the weatherman know what the hell that damn helicopter doing over that damn airspace. You know what I'm saying?
That's the only thing I can think of because the skies are clear and, it's not that bad. The winds have died.
Locatina, I see what's going on, pretty girl.
Died down, but there could have been a gust of 30, let's say, just before the point of, of connection with the plane. So, yeah, this is the area, and, they'll get down there quickly. You saw how fast they got down to meet the truck that went over the Memorial Bridge. So they're quick. They practice this sort of thing, but the water temperature is going to work against not so much the rescue folks, the first responders, but the folks that may still be, in the river. They just don't have that much time before hypothermia sets in.
Gosh, yeah. Topper, the reality of this is sinking in with every moment that passes by. What we know here is the FAA has confirmed some sort of midair collision occurred on approach to Reagan National Airport. So this flight coming from Wichita somehow collides with a helicopter as it was trying to land at Reagan National Airport. It sounds like what you said is that the winds may not have really played a factor in what happened here.
I mean, it could have, but it probably didn't. Again, helicopters are a lot harder to fly than planes.
Right.
So if they get a gust of wind and they don't correct right away, it's possible. But my real question is, how is a helicopter in this space?
Man, why is it?
Well, you say how is it in that space?
Yeah, how is it in that airspace?
So Joint Base Anacostia Bolling is to the east of Reagan National, so it's right across the river.
So it was a military helicopter.
So presumably at this point, that's typically the type of aircraft you see in that area. It can be, you can have commercial jets going in and out of Reagan, but you also have those military helicopters flying over the district at all hours.
That's right, and we don't know if in some way they were doing some sort of training exercise or they were doing some sort of, they were carrying out a mission when this happened.
Somebody in the chat said there was a training exercise, but they're saying they don't know. Maybe it was a mission they was trying to carry out. All in all, man, this is a terrible accident. It's tragic, man.
And we just don't know. What we know is that this was a 60-passenger plane carrying, and we don't know if it was a full 60-passenger plane. We just know about the capacity of this small aircraft. Let's go back out, I think, if we can show you some video. If you're just joining us, we have been sharing the tragic news about a small plane crash that happened on approach to Reagan National Airport.
Yeah, this is EarthCam video we got a short time ago from near the Kennedy Center, and you're going to see that huge explosion there. Again, from what we're learning, this passenger plane, it was coming in for landing at Reagan National when, it collided with a helicopter right there near the...
But my thing is, if the helicopter is aiming directly towards the jet, if it's facing and T-bone the jet, shouldn't them people seen that? Like the pilots on the helicopter, instead of just keep straight into it. You know what I'm saying? I know a helicopter it can maneuver better than that jet. Like, and it was a far distance. It's like it just allegedly ran into the jet. Like, you would think that if you flying that helicopter and you looking straight ahead, you see that big ass jet, excuse my language, and you not gonna veer up or down or sideways. Like, man, it's crazy. It's very suspicious.
Airport.
So can I just interject for 1 second? We're hearing from our CBS colleagues that helicopter you just referenced was a Black Hawk helicopter. And so we are talking about a military helicopter here as we start to connect the dots here a bit more about what happened here. We don't know how this happened, but something tragic happened before 9 o'clock when that plane from Wichita, Kansas, was attempting to land at Reagan National.
Yeah, and we're just learning, Les, that it was an American Airlines jet 5342. Again, what Les mentioned a moment ago, colliding with a Black Hawk helicopter there, not too far away from Reagan National. Again, American Airlines flight 5342 out of Wichita, Kansas, with a Black Hawk helicopter. And, for a point of reference as well, that Joint Base Anacostia Bolling, we talk about, the military helicopters going in and out of that area. We're talking all types of military aircraft, including the president's aircraft, Marine One. That's where it's stationed typically.
Absolutely.
So they're flying at all hours from that base.
They are, and we're learning a bit more from the FAA, and we're going to get to Alexis, our colleague Alexis, in just a moment, but we were told that this regional jet collided midair with this Black Hawk helicopter. This is coming from the FAA on approach to runway 33 at Reagan National Airport around 9 p.m. Around 9 p.m. Again, Zoe, as you mentioned, flight 5342 of American Airlines departing from Wichita, Kansas. And as I say that, I'm feeling something intensely here, because if you're listening at home and you're wondering, you may be wondering if this is your loved one. You may be hearing this information and knowing that someone that you know or you love was on this plane that sadly did not make it to Reagan National Airport right now. And we know about this emergency, massive response right now to try to save anybody. But As Topper mentioned, it's been an hour now.
It's been an hour.
And 40-degree temperatures in the water.
And you think as
really
well,
challenging.
If you have someone, if you were expecting a loved one here, that plane was getting ready to land.
Yeah.
So.
And there may, you know, so there might have even been people waiting.
Yeah.
For
at the airport,
this
at the
plane
time. Exactly.
to arrive.
Too,
and so
man.
it is not lost on us as we share these details with you that so many lives have changed in this moment tonight, in this
Changed in an
moment
instant.
between 9 o'clock and now.
Yeah.
Tragedy has unfolded.
Yeah, we want to get to our Alexis Wayne right now. She is at Gravely Point, right at the tip of Reagan National Airport, the runway there. Alexis, give us a sense of what you're seeing on the ground and what you're hearing.
Well, you guys, I can tell you it's an active scene here now. A lot of crews coming together and trying to start with some of those rescues. Take a look here behind me. You can see a closer look here at the boat ramp, and you'll see Fairfax County Fire out here. We talked about several agencies helping and assisting with this response. We've seen several fire crews pull up to this park here, and they have started to put some of those boats in the water. One boat just returning back into the ramp here. So you can see crews going in and out of the water. Now further back, it's hard to see, but you may see some of those flashing lights. Those are other crews that are also out there on the river trying to help with this rescue. But what you're seeing right now is what we've been seeing for the last 5 to 10 minutes. Crews running back and forth, coming together, kind of trying to figure out a plan of how they're going to get out there on the water and help with this rescue. A lot really going on at this moment. We've been hearing sirens on and off. And something else we want to show you right here behind us actually is some of the people who have pulled off of the roadway to actually get a closer look at what's been happening here. So a lot of people just curious and kind of in shock at this moment about what's going on after we heard about that crash. Now, if we walk further over here, this is the area where we've been seeing some of that staging going on. You can see several fire trucks here. We've also seen Fairfax County Police, Arlington Police. So a lot of them just kind of coming together, circling around each other, having conversations so they can figure out what they are going to do next when it comes to this rescue. So again, a chaotic scene. We've been seeing yellow tape go up within the last 5 to 10 minutes as well. A lot really happening here. But again, right now we're just seeing a lot of movement back and forth, people trying to figure out what they're going to do and how they can really come together as a team to continue some of those rescue efforts. So guys, haven't talked to many of these people out here just yet, but of course we'll stick here and continue to learn more. But for now, that's what we've been seeing.
Alexis, thank you for that perspective as we continue to talk about this tragedy occurred on the way to Reagan National Airport, where a small regional jet, American Airlines, coming from Wichita, Kansas, collided with a Black Hawk helicopter. And we do not know at this moment how many people's lives may be impacted. We know that jet, and I'll let you talk a bit more about that. So it was a 60-passenger jet.
All right, 60 passengers.
60 passengers.
That's how many people it could hold, but we're not sure how many people actually boarded that
Yeah, I don't
flight
know
at
what
the
a
time,
Black
getting out of
Hawk
Wichita,
helicopter
Kansas.
looked like. Let me
Took
show
off at
y'all real
around
quick. Hold on.
5:20.
Let me show y'all what a Black Hawk helicopter looks like. Let me show y'all real quick. I'm gonna just let y'all see what I'm doing. Hold on, y'all. Black Hawk helicopter. Black Hawk helicopter. That's a Black Hawk helicopter, man. Pretty big helicopter. One of these Black Hawk helicopters, man. That's crazy. Let y'all see what the Black Hawk look like, man. Pretty big, decent sized helicopter, man. Them ones that have all the guns on them and a war type helicopter. Pick up they lower the troops out, pick up the troops, shooting missiles and ballistics and all that stuff, man. Crazy. Yeah, man. That's the Black Hawk right there, y'all.
Central Time, so 6:22 our time. This was supposed to be a straight flight to D.C. It's supposed to be a safe flight to D.C. You know, we all board planes, and you expect to make it to your destination safely.
Yeah.
You don't expect something like this. And we talk about these close calls at Reagan National Airport
and there have
all
been
the
several.
time.
Yeah.
This has even been an issue in Congress with them talking about adding additional flights.
And that's also one of the things that we have to talk about at some point, right? Because we know that the folks at Reagan were concerned about potentially adding more flights, that capacity and all of those things. We don't know whether that played a role in what's happening here tonight, but it's certainly something that's been on the radar. As you are looking at the screen at this, we know that the folks at Reagan were concerned about potentially adding more flights. Looking at the screen at this mammoth emergency response to try to save lives. Let's go out to our colleague, Matt Gregory. He's at Dangerfield Island, the boat launch, which is sort of south of this scene. Matt, you've got someone with you.
Hold on, y'all. Let me do something real quick. I got to do something. Hold on, y'all.
Yeah, so listen, while we've been here, just a little ago we were talking to you and kind of giving you a view of the scene here, and a young man came up to me, Jimmy Maisel. Come here, Jimmy. And Jimmy, you said that you were at Gravelly Point. Just give us an idea of what you saw this evening, what you were
Yeah, Linda G, those blades can do a lot of damage too.
doing.
Yes, sir. So tonight I was at Gravelly Point with my girlfriend, and we were eating dinner there. You know, just like normal, just taking in the views, looking at the planes taking off. So yeah, it was just a good time. And then we started to notice the irregular patterns in the planes. And
what did you see? You said you were watching the planes coming in. We know they fly in that flight. What did you see?
We were watching the planes land, and they're all lined up in a row perfectly. You know, and then we sort of saw these white flares start flying out of the sky. We weren't sure if they were flares or what they were. Just some sort of light falling out of the sky. So we were kind of concerned, and then shortly after, we saw the planes disperse and go their own ways. They all went around, and I think they got deferred at their airports. But
the ones that usually take the flight pattern, they go straight. Exactly. They were kind of pulling away from Reagan.
Yes, sir. Yep.
And then what did you see?
And then we saw almost every available fire truck, police car, police boat, even on the DC side, all flooding to the airport and going to the river. And yeah, that's what we saw.
What were you thinking as you were watching all this happen? We
were very curious. I was very curious. We were wondering what was happening because it was a very large response, and at the time we didn't know what was happening. But we were just very curious about what was going on. So.
Kind of put us in your mindset of as you're seeing all this happen, now you're finding out the information. What is happening? What are you thinking right now?
Right now I'm just in awe. It's kind of crazy that we experienced what happened right there. It's unfortunate what happened.
You didn't see the death, but you did all that, but you did not see the crash, man. We wanted to see what you thought when you seen the impact in the sky. Man.
Involved in it, and I'm sorry for everything that happened, but it was really crazy what went down.
Listen, thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it, Jimmy. So, guys, that's what that's Jimmy, who say, as you just heard him say there, says at Gravelly Point, he was able to see something, looks like flares. He thought he now believes it was the plane crashing into the helicopters. We're finding out more information right now. I want to point out the scene because we're a little south, like he was pointing out. We're south of Gravelly Point in the runway. Again, there's a massive response that you can see over here. I know it's off the distance, it's hard to see, but the left portion outside the boat launch over there is where most of the police boats and
White
fire
House
boats
back
are, from
there.
what we can tell. Now, as we come over across the Potomac a little bit further south this way, you can see just out over here, there's still another response there. And all the time that we're here, you're continuing to hear helicopters off the distance or circling around as they continue to look for what we believe to be survivors, elements of the wreckage, everything you can see kind of up there. And they've also come all as far as over here. I wanted to point something out because Topper was talking about this, and I don't know if Alexis was as well, but you know, just standing here, it is probably about 20-30 degrees colder tonight than it was during the day today, and you can imagine just how cold the Potomac's been after, you know, weeks and weeks of frozen sub-zero temperatures over here, well, at least, you know, below freezing level temperatures. And I myself am quite cold, so you can see, like, this is just sort of what anyone who may have been, they're looking for right now. These are some of the elements they're up against. Like Topper said, it's been going on for an hour now, so it's a very tense situation. Everyone here, by the way, as we're kind of doing our live shots and showing that it's just a very quiet, sort of almost like morning as everyone looks off. And there's a curiosity like Jimmy was talking about, but there's also a very quiet sense of something tragic has happened here. Back to you guys.
Yeah. Again, we started getting calls about this. Police did at around shortly before 9 o'clock, around 8:55. Tonight, with folks reporting seeing this huge explosion in the sky, wondering what went wrong.
Yeah, I think we have some of that Earth Cam video that illustrates what the young man who was talking to Matt Gregory might have seen, and we can pull that up. And we're going to be careful with this too, because we are reminded as we watch this moment, this point of impact between this American Eagle jet and a Black Hawk helicopter, that as you see that bright explosion there, that's the impact.
That is the impact.
That's the impact. That's
No
the moment.
shit. No
where
shit.
lives changed
That's
tonight.
Right. And Matt talked about how cold it is out there, and we know we heard from our chief meteorologist Topper Shutt a short time ago. He talked about the water temperature, and it's 42 degrees.
Right.
And he says it takes about 30 to 90 minutes for hypothermia to set in. So obviously crews are moving quickly for a number of reasons, but that's also a factor as well. If you're talking about 9 o'clock, 10:15 now, you have roughly 15 more minutes before the hypothermia starts to set in. So these crews are moving quickly. Someone there, Alexis, what are they telling you?
Yeah, well, we've been talking with several people who literally pulled off of the road to come over here to see what was happening. A lot of them concerned, wanting to make sure people are okay. So I have someone here. I know you live in the area. Just tell me, when did you first hear about this crash, and what made you decide to come over here and check it out?
Yeah, I was driving home on 395, and I got a text from my mom saying, look on Twitter, plane crashed at Potomac. I was like, what? I checked on Twitter, and it's they said by Gravely Point. This is where I hang out all the time. And so I just wanted to drive by the area, see what was happening. Whole bunch of sirens, whole bunch of people pulling over to the side. I was like, might as well check it out. Called my girl, and she told me to cross the street and investigate. I'm just trying to see what's happening. And then you tell me that a plane and a helicopter both collided. I don't really know what's going on. I just hope they're okay. I know the water is cold and everything. Luckily, it was on a day where the river wasn't frozen, but you know, prayers to them. Hopefully they're doing good.
And often we talk with people about these things. You hear about them online, you see them on social media, but to actually live in this area and be here to witness some of the chaos going here on scene, what went through your mind when you saw all of that?
It's actually crazy how often it happens. I don't know if it's a around here thing, just something that follows me. I mean, I was like 10 minutes away from when that house blew up in Arlington. A plane crashed into a power line by my house in Montgomery Village. It's just things always happening around me, and I might as well just, see what's going on, figure out what's happening. I don't know if it's an omen or something, but, hopefully everybody's good. That's the bottom line.
Okay, well, thank you so much. So again, the concern that he had here tonight is what we've been hearing from several people who are out here to check this out. Now, not too long ago when we first talked to you guys, we were showing you the boats and the rescue crews going out in the water. I can tell you within the last 5 to 10 minutes, they have all cleared out. You can hear some of the sirens here in the background now. They have blocked off this street right over here, and a lot of them are heading the opposite way. We're unsure where exactly they're headed right now, but again, we know that they have to move quickly because of the low temperatures right now, and we know that that plane is in the water. So a lot happening here. We can continue to hear crews responding.
That's what I'm saying, Root Rover. It's his fault. Every time he around something tragic happened. He said he got a omen or something following him or something. Not to be funny, man, but, man, he even said his girl said to go across the street and investigate.
From several different agencies, we saw Fairfax County, DC Fire, all of them really just coming together to respond as quickly as possible. So we're going to try to move to that next area and update you as we learn more. But for now, reporting live, Alexis Wainwright. We'll send it back to you guys.
Alexis, thank you. All those lights and sirens sounding the effort, the emergency, response to try and get to whoever may be on this aircraft that we can make out from the water right now.
A little more better view.
And we have the benefit of the light and some distance to be able to see what's happening. So imagine how challenging this is for the responders out there that are battling the cold of the water, the difficult terrain, having to get to the aircrafts, trying to find survivors and pull them to safety, and really talking to us about that in real terms, talking about the wind, talking about the water, talking about the temperatures, and just how challenging this is for rescuers and, quite frankly, for any person that may be able to survive in these conditions.
Yeah, I mean, I think
shout out Crazy Horse.
I mean, that seems to be tops. It can be as quick as 30 minutes to get hypothermia with temperatures low 40s. I mean, your core body temperature falls very quickly. The wind that we found around 9:15 was a 26-mile-per-hour wind gust, but again, the wind advisories were gone. The high winds were pretty much a thing of the past, so we're not so sure. We're not saying wind caused it, but let's take a look at the airport, okay? So here we go. There's the airport, all right, right there. And not too far away, this is Joint Base, right there. So this is, not that far away at all. And if they're doing exercises, it's, again, not a very far way to fly. But the thing is, we had pretty strong winds out of the west-northwest, so they're going to use this runway 3315. At 33, it means it's pointing toward northwest direction. They try to land planes into the wind. And here's a Buzzards Point over here, and then Joint Base is just across the river right there. So very, proximity. This is probably, not 100% sure, but probably the path or the approach of the airplane as it tried to land on runway 33 going into those headwinds, and something happened over here in the Potomac not far from Joint Base, and that's the problem. And again, the water temperature is 42 degrees, and that is just, it's about what it was when the truck went over the Memorial Bridge the other week. It hasn't really changed, and it's very, very dangerous. Now, our rescue folks are in wetsuits, but any possible survivors, 42 degrees is not good. That is not a good temperature. Could it be colder? Yes. There's no more ice on the Potomac right now, I don't think, at least in that area, but there was earlier. So again, Joint Base is just not far away from this at all. I mean, they're clearly the runways at National, and right there is Joint Base Camp Springs, right there. It's this huge area. So it's not particularly far, but if a plane were coming in and then circling around and then landing into the wind, that would be runway 1533. And that's more than likely the runway they were using going into the wind. And then the helicopter was over here doing a maneuver or something. We really just don't know. We do know it was a military craft, Sikorsky 60, I think. So it's possible that one of them got off course. I don't know, but I think this is the path of the approach of the airliner took to land on runway 33, which is into the wind. That's what I think. So we'll see, but the real problem, guys, is the water temperature. I mean, it's 42 degrees, so every minute counts. Back to you guys.
Cold.
Every minute counts. We can tell you that President Trump has been briefed on this incident and is very much aware and watching as all of this is evolving tonight on our screen. Again, this happened just before 9 o'clock tonight. That American Eagle flight destined to land at Reagan National tragically did not. There was a mid-air collision with a Black Hawk helicopter. We are not sure. Quite an effort to get the people who were stuck there out of there and off on their way to Dulles Airport.
Well, absolutely, Leslie and Lorenzo. I want to let you know.
It is possible that some of those victims, those survivors, were brought here. Again, we're across the street, so it's very hard to tell.
With the families there to support them. We did learn that D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser has arrived at Reagan National. She is helping families get to a staging area where they can, God willing, get some kind of information about their loved one. I am also learning, for those of you who are watching all of this and just wondering logistically what this looks like for the airport, a major airport, of course. Washington Reagan National is closed until 5 a.m. Friday. That's from the FAA coming down into our newsroom. And then the other thing that we're watching here is our public leaders, our public officials who are starting to wrap their minds around the size, the magnitude of this event that we're watching, a mass casualty event unfold here in Washington, D.C. today. We have Vice President J.D. Vance urging people to please pray for those involved in the collision. He did stress that we are monitoring the situation, but for now, let's hope for the best. Of course, we heard that President Donald Trump also closely watching this situation, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth as well. And I did want to note, you guys had touched on this back in 1982, the airliner that crashed into the Potomac. There were some survivors from that flight, and that's the hope that you hold on to in moments like this. That, coincidentally was also back in January. And so as we've been talking about how cold the waters are, you see how massive the response here even at this hour. And so we know that there are many families standing by, hoping and praying for the best. Again, D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser just arriving at Reagan as we continue to stand by for this press conference, guys.
So temperatures are dipping into the 30s now, Top?
Yeah.
As these first responders have been going in and out and in and
getting the support they need, also searching for answers as well. Again, like we were saying before, just trying to figure out
Man,
at some point they're going to be asking.
Hope that ain't some of the family members, man. I know they in shock.
How this happened, and we more than likely will see changes in this area because this has also been.
Because I know they have people waiting to pick them up and all that stuff. They about to land, your family about to come pick you up and all that, and then you hear about this tragic news, man, heart goes out to them people.
Known as a trouble spot for so long. We've seen so many close calls in this area before. We've had these warnings with a lot of folks saying, this area isn't ripe for more air activity because of, one, the airport, but also Joint Base Anacostia Bowling and the aircraft going in and out of there on a daily basis. And you saw...
Linda G., welcome to the family. You're a moderator, so you can review the chat messages. You can put people in timeout if you got the trolls in here talking a bunch of crap. You're regulating the channel. So you can block people. You can delete, harmful messages and all that stuff. So you're a moderator right now. So welcome to the family, Linda G. Commander Alpha Turkey, welcome Linda G. Locatina, welcome Linda G to the family.
This is what happened tonight.
And this helicopter wasn't even coming from Anacostia Bowling.
So
right? This is coming from Fort Belvoir.
Yeah, so you have this military training exercise they go through. I know a lot of you over the years talk about these low-flying helicopters going over your homes.
Yeah.
So more than likely you've seen this type of Black Hawk helicopter flying above your home. We know how low, this low altitude, how low they fly. And then you have this airplane coming in for landing at the time, so close to the runway. And those two collide.
And we're reminded that during times of crisis, we mobilize. We mobilize on behalf of our communities and we mobilize on behalf of the nation. And you can see Red Cross members, some of them probably likely volunteers who are part of their GO team too, that respond to these kinds of crises to be there for our fellow neighbors and communities in times of need.
And a reminder that people are involved. We're talking about the image.
You got good energy, Linda G.
Images we've seen. We have not seen the faces of those who were on the plane yet or in the helicopter, but we are about to get those answers right now. That press conference we have been awaiting is underway. You can see D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser there approaching the podium. Let's listen in.
Let's see what they got to say. Let's see what they got to say.
I'm Muriel Bowser. I'm the mayor of Washington, D.C. I'm at Reagan National Airport. I am joined by United States Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy, United States Senator Jim Moran.
Did she say secretary? Let me see. It sounds like she said secretary. Secretary. Yeah, Locatina, it's always something. You fall asleep, wake up to something else. You know what I'm saying? It's always something. It's something going on all the time.
I'm Muriel Bowser. I'm the mayor of Washington, D.C. I'm at Reagan National Airport. I am joined by United States Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy, United States Senator Jim Moran, Senator Roger Marshall, Jack Potter, the CEO of the Metropolitan Washington Airports Authority. We are here to brief you on the very tragic events of this evening, where we know a passenger plane coming to the airport here collided with a military helicopter. Our fire department, DC Fire and EMS, supported by fire departments and police departments from across the Washington metropolitan region, are executing a rescue operation in the Potomac River. They are working diligently in very dark and cold conditions, cold water, to execute this rescue operation. We have had the opportunity to be briefed by American Airlines officials. I'm told that American Airlines leadership is on the way to Washington as well, and officials are in the airport talking to families now. We do have a 1-800 number where families should contact us, should contact American Airlines for more information, and we will be providing that information shortly. I am going to turn to a number of officials to provide as much information as we can this evening, and we expect to have more frequent briefings at daylight. So with that, I'm going to turn to Secretary Duffy.
Thank you, Mayor Bowser. I think for all of us, we want to extend our thoughts and prayers to those individuals who were impacted by the events tonight, their families. We know this is a very difficult time for all of them. I want to join the mayor and everyone here too, extending our thank you to the first responders who, again, in very difficult situations and environments, are out there searching and attempting a rescue. Tonight, I spoke with President Trump and his team in the Situation Room. I had a conversation with Secretary Pete Hegseth as well, and then with the Kansas delegation and the mayor and others in leadership, as well as Governor Youngkin from Virginia and Governor Kelly from Kansas. From the Department of Transportation and FAA's perspective, we are going to offer full support to those on the ground, to the mayor, but also to the NTSB, who is going to be conducting the investigation in this matter. We are going to provide all the support that's necessary. Mayor.
Thank you. So with that, I want to ask Chief John Johnley from DC Fire and EMS to provide an update.
Good evening, everyone. I'm John Donnelly, Chief of DC Fire and EMS. This evening at 8:48, an alert was sounded, initiating a large regional response to a report of an aircraft crash on approach to the airport. This response includes first the Metropolitan Washington Airports Authority.
Shout out Taekwon Martin 3 times, man. Appreciate that.
Fire Department, the District of Columbia Fire Department, the Metropolitan Police Department, and the U.S. Park Police to respond into the area and to sort that out. At 8.
I'm going to interrupt them again. It's a little press conference they're having, but anybody, any of the super chats that I get in the chats and things like that, I take that money and put it to helping the homeless. You know what I'm saying? Taking waters and food and stuff like that. So anything that I get in the super chats that I make on YouTube, that money goes directly to go back to the community, to the less fortunate and stuff like that. So, you know, it's not much, but I also take my own money and go out there and do those things too. So I appreciate anybody and everybody who do give donations to the channel. All right, I appreciate you. Shout out Taekwon Martin 3 times. What's up with you, man? Appreciate it.
58, the first units arrived on the scene and found an aircraft in the water and began rescue operations. This incident has grown. There's currently about 300 responders working. We have boats from all throughout the region, police and fire boats. We have a mutual aid agreement in Washington, D.C., the National Capital Region Mutual Aid Agreement administered by the Metropolitan Washington Council of Governments, and we're all operating under that. We're operating under a unified command. Everybody's together. So we also have requested state police helicopters from Maryland, and the Coast Guard helicopter is working. So this is a state and federal response as well. U.S. Coast Guard's got some boats in the water as well. So it's a highly complex operation. The conditions out there are extremely rough for the responders. It's cold. They're dealing with relatively windy conditions. Wind is hard out on the river. So they're out there working. We're doing everything we can to keep them safe. And with that, I'm going to turn it back to the mayor.
Thank you. In Chief Bonnet from MWA.
I'm Rick Bonnet, Fire Chief of MWA Fire and Rescue. Our unit, as Chief Donnelly already alluded to, at 2048, we received an alert from the FAA tower of an aircraft incident involving a commercial aircraft and a helicopter. Our units immediately responded and deployed 3 boats and immediately called for mutual aid resources. Again, as Chief Donnelly said, it's an active operation that's going to last many hours as we continue to work through recovery efforts and rescue operations. This will be ongoing for quite a while. Our thoughts and prayers are with the families and our communities, and we appreciate all DC's support to our agency and our federal partners.
So with that, I wanted to turn to the senators who are from Kansas who wanted to say a few words. First, Senator Moran, and then Senator Marshall.
Mayor, thank you, and Mr. Secretary, thank you, and to our first responders, thank you very much for all that's taking place here. I'm Jerry Moran. I'm a United States Senator from Kansas, and I chair the subcommittee in Commerce Committee on Aviation. So we have really a serious and sad circumstance that we want to be here to be helpful, and we're praying that our responders are safe and the folks who are on that flight are recovered. The circumstance I would describe is that I know that flight. I've flown it many times myself. I lobbied American Airlines to begin having a direct nonstop flight service to DCA. That flight has been in existence about a year. And it is certainly true that in Kansas and in Wichita in particular, we're going to know people who are on this flight, know their family members, know somebody. So this is a very personal circumstance as well as an official response. And again, we will do everything we can to make certain that we're supportive of the rescue efforts. and we'll do everything we can to make certain that our subcommittee and Congress is engaged in what needs to take place following the outcome of this evening and this month's kind of investigation. I've talked to NTSB, I've talked to the White House, I've talked to the Department of Defense, and I've talked to the CEO of American Airlines, and there is all of us pulling together for the best outcome possible. I'm honored to be here with my colleague, Senator Marshall, as we try to make certain that we care for those certainly back in Kansas that were on that flight. But it's a reminder that there are people here in Washington, D.C., in this region, in Virginia and Maryland, and many places else that fly to and from Kansas. And so we're rooting and supporting all those, regardless of where you're from. And Mayor, I appreciate the gathering here for us to try to provide information to those in Kansas and across your city. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Well, thank you, Senator Moran and Mayor, Secretary. You know, when one person dies, it's a tragedy, but when many, many, many people die, it's an unbearable sorrow. Right. It's a heartbreak beyond measure. And I know Senator Moran and I are here just to say we care. We wish that there was more we could do, but unfortunately there doesn't seem much at this time. I want the folks to back home to just know that we care, that we love them, and that this is a time when we'll have to join arms together and help each other out. We've been through things like this before, through tornadoes and floods and things, but it's really hard when you lose, you know, probably over 60 Kansans simultaneously. And I don't want to forget the pilots and the flight attendants, you know, who are doing, you know, do their job, and the military personnel we lost. You know, all those lives are so valuable, and it is such a tragedy that we lost them. You know, I think often in times like this, I try.
So basically, they saying everybody. Well, he said over 60, so basically everybody passed away. Man, that's man, my heart goes out to them people, man, the family and everybody expecting them to touch down safely. They already basically what they saying, 60, and that ain't even including the Black Hawk crew, the crew that flew the plane, the stewardess, and all those people, man. That's crazy.
Try to find a scripture that, you know, is apropos, and this is from the book of.
Let's play ball. I see you. I appreciate it. Say anything for a good cause. Man, you know what I'm saying? Appreciate that.
Psalms, it says, "The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit." Certainly we're crushed in spirit tonight. We mourn with the families who lost loved ones, and we truly are joining them in prayer and wrapping our arms around them in love and compassion. Thanks for everybody for coming out tonight, and thank you for your thoughts and your prayers.
So certainly I speak for the people of Washington, 700,000 of us who are extremely sorry for the families who are experiencing loss tonight. And so we want you to know that we will continue to work with American Airlines to share information as frequently as possible and make sure that we're getting accurate information out to the public. But my sorrow for all of the people and crew on the plane and our military personnel on the helicopters.
Like the White House back there in the distance.
I do want to turn to Jack Potter, who is the CEO of our Airports Authority, responsible for Reagan National Airport and Dulles International Airport, to talk to you about how the airport responded and what we're what's going to happen next.
Good evening. As was said, I'm Jack Potter, the President and CEO of the Metropolitan Washington Airports Authority. Thank you all for being here tonight and under these very, very grim circumstances. First of all, I want to let you know that we're providing support to all the families who are involved. American Airlines has established a phone number for them to reach out. It's been published, but let me repeat it. It's 1-800-679-8215. So families of folks that were on the plane are asked to contact them. We did have folks who were at the airport to pick up loved ones, and so American has set up a center in their in their lounge at the north end of the airport, and we've directed the families there, and there are folks there counselors there to work with the families. We did have aircraft that were in the air. They were diverted to Dulles Airport, some 19 aircraft. We had personnel, United and others had personnel. We want to thank WMATA for extending their hours on the Metro to make sure that those folks were accommodated. Right now, as was said earlier by the chief, we're in a rescue mode. We will continue in that rescue mode. I want to thank all of the mutual aid responders, all the counties, the district, folks from Maryland and Virginia. Everybody's on site doing the best they can, and numerous boats out in the water right now. NTSB is on site. I want to thank all of the folks behind me, the secretary, the mayor, the 2 senators for all of their support, and we're going to continue to work through the night. I do want to make an announcement. People are, concerned about what's going to happen in the morning. Reagan National Airport will be closed until 11 o'clock. That's when the first flights will take off. But we're going to continue to do our best and work through this situation over the course of the night, and we hope to have more news as it develops. But for right now, it's a very difficult situation out there with the cold. It's very dark, but there are numerous boats out there. There are dive teams out there. So again, we'll continue to work this situation, and I'll turn it back to the mayor. Thank you very much.
I couldn't even, if I was at the airport, I couldn't even fly. I would cancel my flight. Talking about flying and start flights at 11 in the morning. I would not be flying. I'll be catching a Greyhound, something. Take my chances on the road, because after experiencing and seeing and what's going on, ain't no way that I'm gonna be flying anywhere.
Thanks for that update. And you've heard that in the National Capital Region, the district, of course, is Washington, D.C. is at the center, but we are a close region. We have heard from the governors of Maryland and Virginia, the mayor of the city of Baltimore, all who have sent us personnel to help in the rescue operations. Last thing I'll note is just to our local viewership, and just please let our first responders do their work. Try to let our vehicles get to scenes and through scenes. We don't want anybody else to get hurt because of moving vehicles, okay? So we will be able to take a few questions. There's not a lot that we can say. We won't be able to say anything about an investigation. As you know, once fire and EMS completes the rescue operation, then the investigation goes over to the National Transportation Safety Board. And I'm sure the Safety Board, NTSB, will provide information about when they will be briefing about an investigation. So we'll take a few. Yes?
Can you confirm that both aircraft are in the water, and perhaps Chief Donnelly can explain what's involved in conducting an operation like this in these conditions?
Yes, both aircraft are in the water. The focus now is rescuing people, and that's what all of our personnel are focused on. And Chief, I think he's given a pretty good description, but if there's anything else you want to add, Chief?
I would just say that the boats are out doing searches. We have divers on both aircraft, and they're searching the aircraft at this point.
Right. Yes.
Have any survivors been found, and how many bodies have been recovered?
All we can confirm tonight is the number of people on each aircraft, 64 people on the American Airlines plane, and 3 people on the military helicopter. And we can't provide any more information about recovery efforts.
The 2 people have talked about lost loved ones, so how do you know that there might be people who have lost loved ones?
I didn't say I didn't know people had lost loved ones. I said we can't talk about any of the recovery efforts in specific tonight.
Yes. Secretary Duffy, can
I'll call on who's next. Yes?
Thank you, Mayor Bowser. Will this affect operations at Dulles and BWI? Will the Potomac River traffic be closed to boats?
Yes. And so Jack has talked about, Jack, can you talk about Dulles? I'm not sure we can talk about BWI, but we can talk about Dulles.
There is no impact at BWI or at Dulles. As I said earlier, our airport here, Ronald Reagan National Airport, will be closed until 11 o'clock. Obviously, that will be fluid. We'll learn more, but we wanted to advise passengers who might be coming to the airport in the morning that we will be closed until at least 11 o'clock.
Secretary Duffy.
A question for Secretary Duffy. Yeah, 1 second. You're not.
Ain't too many questions. They said they can't answer no questions, so I don't even know why they even taking questions right now. That's great. I don't even know why they even taking questions. Well, man, it's a tragic situation, man. Thing I can say, man. But man, look, we finna switch gears, man. Ain't nothing else we can see on that. They keep showing and saying the same things. Today, they had Robert F. Kennedy in his confirmation Senate hearing for him being the HHS secretary. And it's this guy, name is Jesus Enrique Rosas, man. And he's the body language guy. I like his videos, man. He always, he's pretty funny, you know what I'm saying? He's straight to the point, but he reads the body languages of people. And I wanted to just get into this. I did a live earlier on the actual RFK Jr.'s confirmation hearing. A lot of people tapped in for that live. But we're going to go to this channel, Jose Enrique Rosas, man. He's from Venezuela, but you know, he reads people body language, and this is where he's going to react to RFK Jr.'s Senate confirmation. The lady, the Senator Elizabeth Warren, she was like really trying to grill Robert F. Kennedy. And Bernie Sanders, they were getting on my nerve, man. They always, it just seemed like they just angry for no damn reason. And Robert F. Kennedy, he held his own. First, he was kind of nervous. You could tell that he was nervous. But why wouldn't he be nervous? You know what I'm saying? You got these people, these senators just grilling you about everything under the sun that has to do with health. But anyway, man, let's get to it, man. This is gonna be pretty fun for me, because I like the dude's channel. So hopefully y'all like it too. But my last thing, man, send condolences to those family members, man, and people who lost their lives in that tragic air collision crash into the Potomac River, man. Crazy. Let's get to it, man. Y'all hit them like button, man. Double tap that screen, man, for your boy, man. Hit that subscribe button, please. Let's do it.
So let's get started. And this is something that I absolutely needed to do. Analyze what was going on with the hearings of Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and the Senate to the confirmation that he's going to be the head of making America healthy again. And this,
we surfing YouTube, man. This is what I like to do. So I'm gonna react too. So let's do it.
This was painful to watch, especially because of Elizabeth Warren. We're gonna be talking about Elizabeth Warren. We're gonna be talking about Bernie Sanders and the onesies. What is that? I began seeing the word onesies. Isn't that what babies wear? And a couple more senators, because this is. He has to be confirmed in some way or another. And we are going to see a couple threats, actual threats as well. But let's begin with Elizabeth Warren. We have this just in. Senator Elizabeth Pocahontas Warren has a meltdown after RFK Jr. refused to commit to not suing pharmaceutical companies. RFK You're asking me to not sue pharmaceutical companies, and Warren shrieking meltdown. This is hands down the worst exchange of all the hearings. I'm going all out, first one, with this because you absolutely need to watch this. The captions are going to be all over the place because, well, most of these senators interrupted RFK over and over again, and Warren not only interrupted but was yelling over him. So yeah, the captions are going to be a bit messy, but here we go.
Yeah, they was interrupting, man, asking him questions. He can't even get the damn answer out.
Financially down the line.
I'll comply with all the ethical guidelines.
That's not the question. You and I, you have said
you're asking me, Senator, you're asking me not to sue vaccine pharmaceutical companies. Yeah, you are. That's exactly what you're doing.
Look, no one should be fooled here. As Secretary of HHS, Robert Kennedy will have the
Yeah, it's, this is the moment that I don't like Elizabeth Warren in like a principle. I don't like her at all. I don't. Like I think that she's another hypocrite. But I don't know what kind of, how do you stand this kind of hearings? And that's why I understand RFK's face when she's yelling. He adjusts the microphone and he's got that face of, oh my God, she's going full Karen on me. You need to be able to control your blood pressure, because this was an unhinged rant, and you saw how she began yelling at him. No, I am not. No, I am not. You're telling me, you're asking me to not sue pharmaceutical companies. So you know how Warren is, let's say, entangled with pharmaceutical companies. That's the thing. That is the conflict of interest in here. How is it possible? I don't know, but that's reality.
He will have the power to undercut vaccines and vaccine manufacturing across our country.
And why is her voice breaking? We know that RFK's voice breaks because of his condition, but why is her voice breaking? You're going to take away our vaccines. You're going to take away our vaccines. Why?
And for all of his talk about follow the...
Let me go on. I'm going to drink my coffee from my BPA.
All right, Linda G, I see you. Appreciate you.
Phil cup. I don't care. This is the BPAs on my plastic cup are better than listening to this stuff. Oh my God.
Science and his promise that he won't interfere with those of us who want to vaccinate his kids. The bottom line is the same. Kennedy can kill off access to vaccines and make millions of dollars while he does it.
This is important. These senators, in many instances, are not asking questions. They are imposing criteria. Like, Kennedy is going to do such and such. Okay, they're already saying it. Yeah. And if he tries to defend himself, as we're about to see with Bernie Sanders, they will interrupt him when he gives a sensible answer to those imposed criteria about him. Then he is interrupted. So this is quite unfair. I don't know how people withstand this kind of punishment, but yes, maybe it's next level ability that you need to have with these people, especially when they come in such a, how can I say this, bad faith. When they come in such a bad faith.
Kids might die, but Robert Kennedy can keep cashing in.
Look who's talking about cashing in.
Senator, I support vaccines. I support the childhood schedule.
This is important to understand. Bobby Kennedy actually supports vaccines, but he wants to make sure that they are safe. Yeah. That all the protocols are, followed. This is important. This is he's an anti-vaxxer. This is misleading, and he has repeated that over and over and over again. He's trying to explain that, but no, you know that the agenda, the narrative is that, he's a science denier, he is an anti-vaxxer. No, in fact, it's the opposite. He wants to make sure that the full scope of the science is studied, that the full scope of this, not only vaccines, but also mRNA treatments are studied thoroughly so they can be as safe as possible, especially for children. And well, we need to take a break with a meme like this. Logan Hall, the future of America depends on how many men are willing to scoff at the shrieks of hysterical liberal women. And I concur. He also has this take, a very sensible take. I don't want to take food away from anybody. And no, not specific kinds of food, by the way.
Americans understand it and make sure that Americans are aware of it. I don't want to take food away from anybody. If you like a cheeseburger, a McDonald's cheeseburger, a Diet Coke, which my boss loves, and you should be able to get them. If you want to eat Hostess Twinkies, you should be able to do that. But you should know what the impacts are on your family and on.
Yeah, it's like, for example, you can eat pretty much the same foods in America or in Europe, but just for an example, it's Fanta. And Fanta doesn't have the same additives or the same color in the original Fanta in America or in Europe. And if you're drinking it in America, you must be aware that you're drinking certain chemicals that are
nothing but sugar,
not allowed in other parts of the world. And that is part of what is making America healthy again. Not only eating healthier, but being more aware of what are people consuming, what are eating, and of course that the full science is studied. But you know, they want to jump to conclusions, not only some senators, not all of them, but some senators, and of course the mainstream media. Astounding, shares Kali means. Reporters at RFK hearing have pre-written negative headlines. The hearing hadn't been begun yet, hadn't started, and they already had RFK Jr. faces grilling on anti-vaccine comments and animal mutilation at confirmation hearing. Trump live updates. They already were. Let me see, how can I write this a neutral headline in the most non-neutral way possible. You know how
they already had the worst headlines. The hearing ain't even started yet, boy. Tell you
how it is. But let's talk about onesies. And the onesies thing is, what is going on with onesies? Isn't that what babies wear? Yeah. I was asking, what is this? The first account that I saw was Huberman, Andrew Huberman, in that this is the first time that I see that a hearing is about onesies. It's like, what are they talking about? Some people were asking, and it's this. Bernie Sanders has a problem with RFK Jr. selling onesies, and he is not selling them. Let's make it clear. Are you supportive of this onesies? Was asking Bernie. Bernie, what's this about? What's this onesies about? Let's see.
You have started a group called the Children's Health Defense. You're the originator. Right now, as I understand it, on their website, they are selling what's called onesies. These are little things, clothing for babies. One of them is titled Unvaxxed, Unafraid.
I'm going to zoom in so you can see it. Unvaxxed, Unafraid. This says one, and the other says no vax, no problem. In fact, they have many other designs. It so happens that these two designs have this, let's say, this approach to this market. We could say it's
they were trying to hate on
something that it has the market. And Bernie wants to know if RFK Jr. approves of this onesies. What the F? So,
next one, and they're sold for $26 a piece, by the way. Next one is Novak.
Yeah, then the account was already saying, thank you for the shout out. Now we are selling more of these onesies than ever.
No problem. Now you're coming before this committee and you say you're pro-vaccine. Just want to ask some questions. And yet your organization is making money selling a child's product to parents for $26, which casts fundamental doubt on the usefulness of vaccines.
I'm sure it's $25.99, but you know, it's rounding up for being more efficient.
Can you tell us now that you will, now that you are pro-vaccine, that you're going to have your organization take these products off the market.
You ain't got to take nothing now. Some people want those, and some people want the other ones. Hell, boy, they be hating, boy. They about to have a damn heart attack up there.
Senator, I have no power over that organization. I'm not part of it.
I'm not part of it. I'm not part of that organization. He can't do about anything that organization does. He resigned from the board. That should be enough, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I founded it. I have nothing to do with it anymore. Sometimes you help found something, and you disagree what they have done. That you just separate yourself. You distance yourself from that organization that maybe you found at some point, and well, that should be enough, right?
I'm not part of it. I resigned from the board.
Yeah, that was just a few months ago. You founded that. You certainly have power. You can make.
You certainly have power. That's what I'm telling you. They're trying to set up this narrative. That's what they want to do. They want to set up a narrative to make RFK Jr. like he's going to profit from this. He's a science denier. He's against vaccines. He has all these crazy ideas. What he wants is to get to the bottom of all these initiatives that started with science and health, and well, the conflict of interest, having so much money behind them thanks to big pharma. Is like the Babylon Bee said that, okay, this next round of questions is gonna be sponsored by Pfizer. That's Babylon Bee, very good headline. But that is bad faith again. That they trying to set up a narrative, so try to see if RFK Jr. Takes the bait.
You can make that call. Are you supportive of this?
He already said that he has nothing to do with the company, and he's pro-vaccine.
I've had nothing to do with.
Are you supportive of these onesies?
Well, he's asking the question the third time. This is so unserious. Man. This is so unserious. So many people, so many Democrat voters are realizing that these are a bunch of clowns. These are a bunch of clowns.
I'm supportive of vaccines.
Are you supportive of this clothing, which is
fourth?
Lower your damn tone, Bernie. Boy, they lucky I wasn't sitting up there, because I would have told Bernie, man, lower your tone. Lower your tone. I don't know who you think you talking to. You asking me a question, you won't let me answer it, and you sitting up there pointing at what the company's selling. I ain't got nothing to do with it no more. I resigned from the board. Man, calm down, Bernie.
What? He's saying that I am supportive of vaccines. I have nothing to do with that. He's saying that I'm against those onesies. And Bernie seems to not understand how English works.
Militantly anti-vaccine.
I am supportive of vaccines. I will. I want good science, and I want to protect.
But you will not tell the organization you founded not to continue selling that product. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, because he has nothing there. He has to say something about that. He has to say something about Bernie. Bernie knows he cannot win, so he wants to at least make RFK look bad. Oh, you won't tell these people to not sell these products. Why? I am not responsible of them. So I needed to make this meme. I'm making Bernie look too good. I'm making Bernie look too good in this case. Well, are you supportive of this onesies? Say it. Say it. Are you supportive of this onesies? There was another very annoying part of Bernie, in which he was asking the question: is healthcare a human right? And RFK was giving the best answer there can be.
Man.
He was actually giving the best answer there can be, and Bernie kept interrupting him. Let's take a look at this, and you tell me if this is not something to just yell at people, if not want to punch them in the face.
Senator, I can't give you a yes or no answer to that question.
Healthcare a human right.
Healthcare is a human right. You know that Bernie is doing his very crazy face. Very crazy face is doing. Bernie's going all crazy on him. Bernie wants a yes or no, and that is a complicated question. And he's going to explain. RFK is going to explain.
Human right. In the way that free speech is a human right, I would say it's different because with free speech doesn't cost anybody anything, but
yeah, free speech doesn't cost anybody anything, but when something costs or depends on other people, because healthcare depends on other people to exist, then, well, it's a bit more difficult to say that it's a human right, because it depends on the work and the studies and the time and the effort of many other people. So this is the best example.
In healthcare, if you smoke cigarettes for 20 years and you get cancer, you are now taking from the pool. Well, and so are you guaranteed the same right, or is there also a duty?
I'm sorry. I'd love to talk for an hour with you.
No, we don't want to talk for an hour with you, Bernie. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants that.
We got a few minutes left here. All right. Every other country on earth says healthcare, whether you're poor or rich, young or old, is a human right. I'm not hearing you say that. All right.
Yeah, he is saying that healthcare might be a right, but you have to, put some effort into your own health, right?
Exactly.
Because if you smoke 20 cigarettes a day for 20 years, then and you pretend that you're gonna have the same rights of somebody who has tried to not smoke, tried to not drink, tried to exercise, tried to eat healthy. So both of them have the same right. It is my opinion, by the way, that no, both of them do not have the same right. And both of them, the person who smokes the 20 cigarettes is taken away from the pool of that everybody is benefiting from in an irresponsible way. Yeah. So you cannot have the same right. You cannot pretend to have the same right. And this is the problem with free health care. This is the problem with free health care that has to start with prevention. It has to start with, the country making sure that people are healthy, that have a healthy lifestyle, that have a lifestyle free of stress. And it would help if the country invested on the people and the infrastructure and not in, for example, let me see one topic that I haven't mentioned in the past couple of years. Immigration, of course, all that illegal immigration that is supported by all these governments, that could be invested in infrastructure so people are less stressed, are more healthy, and you can have better public health programs, and you can have maybe universal free health care, but as long as people are aware that they are responsible of that at the same time. It's not like, I have public free health. Healthcare is a human right, and you know how communists start with that stuff. Housing, for example, it must be a human right. Healthcare must be a human right. Yeah, but so wait a second. Somebody that has to come from somewhere.
Yeah.
So if that has to come from somewhere, you have to put some effort into that yourself. And the problem is that communists don't want you to put any effort. Communists want you to depend on the government because that's how they can control you.
Exactly.
That's the reality. We have another clip of Warren, which we also have. You can see that there's another Karen just right beside her. We're gonna see this other Karen. I don't know her name. I forgot her name. We're gonna see her last name in a minute. We'll have this. Will you commit that when you leave this job, you will not accept compensation from a drug company, a medical device company, a hospital system, or a health insurer for at least 4 years? And RFK says, I'm happy to commit to that. And he joked at some point, I don't think they're going to give me any money. I don't think any of those industries are going to give me any money at any point.
Will you commit that when you leave this job, you will not accept compensation from a drug company, a medical device company, a hospital system, or a health insurer for at least 4 years, including as a lobbyist or a board member?
Can you just repeat the last part of the question? Can I commit
You're
to
not going to take money from drug companies in any way, shape, or form.
Me?
Yes, you.
Oh, I'm happy to commit to that.
Okay, good. That's what I figured. I said it's an easy question to start with.
Yes, he afterwards he says that I don't think that they are willing to give me any money. But the other Karen, what's the name of the other Karen?
Karen.
Senator Catherine, almost Catherine Cortez Masto, Democrat from Nevada. You keep citing the Trump administration. This senator wanted to make it seem like RFK is just Trump's puppet. That was her argument over and over again. And this is when you see again that this is so tiring. This is so exhausting and so patient from Bobby Kennedy. Well, let's watch this.
You keep citing the Trump administration, and you're just going to follow what they say. Is that what you're doing? You're just a rubber stamp for them in this position. So anybody.
You see, the question is already loaded. She's loading the question to make him look bad.
So it doesn't matter that you're before us. It could be anybody coming before us, as long as they're a rubber stamp for this administration and disregarding your beliefs and what you think. I guess my question to you is, if it really is fundamental to what you believe, how do you live with that? How do you address those issues as you're moving forward?
Yeah, she can't figure out that maybe what he stands for is what the administration stands for, and when they are aligned, that he's not just a rubber stamp. He's doing what he wants to do, what is right, and he has said that as well. He could live a happy life. He could be not doing this, not going through this, but he has decided to do this.
Knowing that it's going to harm Americans. Yeah.
You want me to answer the question?
You notice how they keep trying to ask a question and they don't allow him answer the question, and he has to say, do you want me to answer the question? Do you want me to answer? You're going to keep up talking.
Knowing that it's going to harm Americans. Yeah.
You want me to answer the question?
No, I'm asking you.
Okay. President Trump has asked me to end the chronic disease epidemic and make America healthy again. And I'm
So is that the only reason
position.
why you're at HHS? Is that the only reason why then you're at the HHS, to address that one issue?
President Trump has asked me because I'm in a unique position to end that. And that is what I'm doing. And if we don't solve that problem, Senator, all of the other disputes we have about who's paying, and whether it's insurance companies, whether it's providers, whether it's HMOs, whether it's patients or families, all of those are moving deck chairs around in the Titanic. Our ship is sinking. Our 60% increase in Medicaid over the past 4 years is the biggest budget line now, and it's growing faster than any other. And no other nation in the world has what we have here. No other nation has a chronic disease. We have the highest chronic disease burden of any country in the world. We had, during COVID.
This is important. These numbers in which the chronic disease, the highest chronic disease in the world, and one of the highest, if not the highest, expenditures in healthcare. How do you get both things at the same time? How do you get both things at the same time? Something is badly broken in America's healthcare. And the healthcare, we already know, we have this great business of big food and big pharma. Big food poisons people. Big pharma gives you the drug. Then you keep eating the food that poisons. You keep eating the poison. You keep going for the drug. It's that simple. It's that simple. And very profitable. So this has to be high. Jailbroken, destroyed, dismantled in any way possible.
Daisy Freedom Fighter say, her hair is killing me. Man, look at that. Look like a lace front. Karen.
Any way, shape, or form. Some of those questions were not that, let's say, were not so much on bad faith, but were opportunities for Bobby Kennedy to express himself. Like this question. I like this question. Are you a conspiracy theorist? This is important because that way he can express himself.
Are you a conspiracy theorist?
That is a pejorative, Senator, that's applied to me. mainly to keep me from asking difficult questions of powerful interests. I was told that I was a conspiracy theorist. That label was applied to me because I said that the vaccines, the COVID vaccine, didn't prevent transmission and it wouldn't prevent infection, when the government was telling people, Americans, that it would. I was saying that because I was looking at the monkey studies in May of 2020. I was called a conspirator. Now everybody admits it.
Exactly. Yeah, well, this is one of the things, and we have a.
I know people. I know people personally who got the vaccine and was still catching COVID. So, yeah.
Talk about this and in the show in my channel. That I also look at the data. I also look at what was going on, and when I saw not only the American government but every single government said, "Oh yeah, this is gonna be prevent transmission. You're not gonna get catch COVID if you get a shot." Wait a second, that's a lie. That's not how it works. Okay, you're gonna get it. Maybe you're not gonna get it as strong. There's gonna be secondary effects as in any other treatment. There has been a bit rushed, but not getting it, stopping transmission, that is an outright lie. Many of us raised our voices. We were silenced. We were called like wackos, conspiracy theorists, science deniers, all that you want. And that was not fun. That was not fun at all, but at least he had the opportunity of answering his stance. The threats that I was mentioning, comes from Nicole Shanahan, and she recorded this savage video that I want to share with you. That was like a warning to senators of what she's going to do if they don't confirm Bobby Kennedy.
Hey everyone, tomorrow is a pivotal moment in our nation's history. At 10 a.m. Eastern Time, RFK will sit in front of the Senate Finance Committee for his confirmation hearing to be our nation's next Secretary of Health and Human Services. I urge everyone to call their U.S. senators over the following days and demand they vote yes on Bobby's nomination. He is more than qualified. He's proven, principled, and prepared to lead. I'll share a list below of key senators. If they represent your state, they need to hear from you. If they don't, please call your own senator and ask them to vote yes. We need as many votes as we can get. So this hasn't been widely reported, but in 2020, I cut large checks to Chuck Schumer to help Democrats flip 2 Senate seats in Georgia from red to blue. The 2 candidates I helped elect, Senator Raphael Warnock and
she is coming out clean with this one.
Senator Jon Ossoff. Please know I will be watching your votes very closely. I will make it my personal mission that you lose your seats in the Senate if you vote against the future health of America's children. And more than that, I also want to say to Senators Mitch McConnell.
This is like Liam Neeson. I'm gonna look for you and I'm going to make your life miserable. I'm going to make my life mission just destroy you. I will F you up.
Lindsey Graham, Lisa Markowski, Susan Collins, Bill Cassidy, Tom Tillis, James Lankford, Cory Booker, John Fetterman, Bernie Sanders, and Catherine Cortez Masto. This is a bipartisan message, and it comes directly from me. While Bobby may be willing to play nice, I won't. If you vote against him, I will personally fund challengers to primary you in your next election, and I will enlist hundreds of thousands to join me. Big Pharma and Big Ag have exploited us for far too long.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. When you have the power to tell people to their faces, yeah, if you don't do what has to be done, this is a bipartisan issue. I'm going to give you the easy way out. You do what.
Let me say it for you, Jose Enriquez. That's your ass. If you don't put him in there, I'm going to come after you. That's your ass.
What you know you have to do, or I will make sure that you lose your seat next time, or else, whatever. I have $1 billion to just destroy you and your political career, whatever is left of it. And yes, I just love her attitude. I just love her attitude.
It ends now.
It ends now.
You're either on the side of transparency and accountability, or you are standing in the way. The choice is yours.
Get the hell
Please
out the
choose
way.
wisely.
Okay,
Choose wisely.
Bobby.
You don't put Bobby Kennedy in there. That's jazz. Choose wisely.
Could play nice, but she won't. I won't. She needed the Batman. No, she didn't need the Batman voice. She was great as she did. We have a couple more images. People know in Polymarket the odds that RFK Jr., this was like 3 hours ago, is confirmed as Trump's health secretary are on the rise during his hearing. 75% chance. And just one last comment from Utopian on X. I'm a lifelong straight party ticket Democrat, and after watching this hearing today, I can never vote for any of them ever again. I'm appalled and disgusted by what this party has become. This is the sentiment of so many people I'm seeing online, and I think this is a pivotal moment in which we saw what happened with the party not only during the elections, but what has happened in all this time, especially in the last couple of weeks, and especially in the last couple of days, and we already see these hoaxes, that these lies, that Trump has already come out and said, no, Medicaid is not out. All these services, all these healthcare services are not out, have not been suspended, because the Democrats, the liberals, all these libtards really wanted to push the narrative. Trump is becoming full dictator and is taking all these healthcare benefits of people. And no, it's not. It's a hoax. It's a lie. And people are already building their Trump's second term list of hoaxes. The first one was Elon Musk doing a Nazi salute. The second one was this one. I expect that list to reach at least be more than 100 by the end of his of this upcoming 4 years. I certainly hope that that RFK Jr. is confirmed, and we will be moving on to Kash Patel, and Kash Patel is going to be a tough one. And Tulsi Gabbard as well. Well, it is said, this is the rumors that between RFK, Kash Patel, and Tulsi Gabbard, is like the Senate is asking Trump, sort of, this is a rumor, this is not confirmed. I just saw some kind of rumor on X. And maybe they're telling Trump, okay, you can have only 2 of these 3. Which 2 of these 3 would you choose? From RFK Jr., Kash Patel, Tulsi Gabbard. You can have only 2 of them. Which one would you choose? I know my pick, but I would like to know yours in the comments. Remember to download my 100 body language tips in the description of this video, and that way you will be subscribed to my email list as well. So let's get.
Yeah, man. It's crazy. It is crazy out here, man. Woo, Lord. Yeah, man. Anyway, man, I just came on here, man, just to spend a little bit of time with my family. Everybody in here, man, in the chats, everybody that tapped in, man, welcome to the family, man. We all had a terrible plane crash. Seems like every day you cut on YouTube or look at the news, it's something that's just happening that's just it's terrible. Terrible. But, you know, things are changing, so things are changing for the better, man. This country deserves it after the last 4 years of going through hell with Sleepy Joe and Scamala Harris. Yeah, I called her Scamala. I think I was the first one that said that. Then I started seeing people saying Scamala. They was shadow banning me the whole election, like for real. And it was cool. It was cool. I wasn't tripping. But it's a new day. And it is what it is, man. But it's getting kind of late, man. I'm about to tap out of here. I appreciate all y'all for tapping in, man. I pray that God protects y'all. That y'all see another day, man. My prayer goes out to all the people who lost their lives in this terrible plane and helicopter crash incident, man. I feel like RFK Jr., man. I pray that he becomes the next HHS secretary. Get these kids' health in order, you know. And I just pray, man, that this country, man, we're gonna do well. Yeah, man. I appreciate y'all, man. Y'all hit that subscribe button, man. Hit that like button, man. Get your boy up in the algorithm. I'm on the road to 50K subscribers. I built this channel. I'm on my 8th month as far as really pushing the content and doing these reactions and things like that. I had the channel for a while, just never really put a lot of different content on there. I was putting a lot of music videos that I shot. You know, I shoot music videos, little documentaries and different things like that. But in 8 months, I went from 1,000 subscribers to 49,000. So on the road to 50,000. When I get to 50,000 subscribers, I want to do something special for a couple of the members. I'm thinking about what I'm going to do, but it's getting close. It's getting close, 50,000 subscribers, man. Like I say, man, I love everybody on here, man, that taps in with me, man. I don't hate anybody. I just hate people actions. That's about it. I always say that, you know what I'm saying? And like I say, man, I pray for y'all. I pray for myself, man, and pray for the country. That we all can get along, man. Everybody got their own way of thinking. Everybody got their own comments. Everybody got their own everything. We all different. But one thing's for sure, we all God's children. So I want to cover everybody with the blood of Jesus on this chat, man. If you're not a Christian right now, you're a Christian right now today on this channel. So I'll cover you guys with the blood of Jesus, and Jesus' blood is for your protection, man. So like I say, man, y'all protect yourself at all times, man. Y'all keep y'all head on the swivel, man. God bless you. God bless me, man, and God bless America, man. And I'll be tapping back in with y'all, man, tomorrow. I'm going to do a lot more lives. I used to do a lot of lives while I'm driving in my car. I used to do them at work, but my job, I carry mail, so they kind of caught on to it and pulled me in the office and told me that I shouldn't be doing it and all this. But it's all good, but I'm about to be really showing y'all a lot of different things. So, like I say, man, I appreciate y'all. Let me get a few shout outs, man. We got Loca Tina, that's my moderator, Commander Alpha Turkey. We got Daisy Freedom Fighter. Daisy Freedom Fighter. I'm sorry about that. Who else we added up in here? Who else is that? Let me see here. We got Kevbo. What's going on with it? Shout out Kevbo. I got a couple of super chats in here. And like I said, the super chats are not for me. It's for going out to feed the homeless, giving back to the less fortunate. I like to do those type of things. I need to really get back on it. So this year I'm really gonna be out there on Skid Row. I'm based in Los Angeles, California, so be out there on Skid Row giving back to the less fortunate. That's what I was doing last year. You can check some of my videos. I'll be out there in the streets out there, man, putting smiles on people's faces. So that's what it's all about for me. We got Josh Johnson up in here. Who else? Pamela Postel. I see you. We got Annie Ann up in here. We got Van Motus. I think that's how you say your name. Me up in there too, man. Appreciate you. We got E. Bagan Nader. What's going on with it? I remember that name. Got Cross Hop up in here. Lindro up in here. Who else we got? Easy BCLS. John Hip. Nagala. Dewala. Dewelbait. Y'all got them names, man. It's hard to pronounce some of them names, but it's okay. Shout out to people who gave the super chats. Let's Play Ball, $5 super chat. Taekwon Martin 3 times with a $1.99 super chat. Appreciate you. C Buster Douglas, appreciate you. What else we got up in here? We got Florence Bortz. What's up with it? Yeah, so the names can go on and on, but man, this is a special day, man. Everybody wake up, man. Get to it. Get to your goals, man. We got Robin Spillman up in here. What's going on with it? So y'all get to y'all goals, man. Don't let nothing stop y'all. You know what I'm saying? We got Nicholas 5000 up in here, man. With the troll. You know what I'm saying? But it's all good. But anyway, man, I'm up out of here, man. I appreciate y'all. Love y'all. Until next time, man. Protect yourself. Do what you got to do, man, to make it throughout the day. And, yeah, we'll tap back in tomorrow, all right? All right? I'm out of here, man. Mr. Zach Reacts. Peace. Bye, Locatina.